Okay, so this is part two of my video, and I was talking about James Clear's book Atomic Habits and how the book has really inspired me to make small changes every day to reach my goals. And it also inspired me to develop good systems because he said that you are as good as your systems. Your habits are as good as the systems you use. So it's not your desire or motivation or your plan. It's about the system that you have in place to get there. And so I have so many plans for side hustles. Like I'm just bursting with them. But I think about where I am going to, when am I going to find the time to do them all, and how am I going to do them cohesively? Because I'm not going to go on this journey and be tired and exhausted every day. I'm not doing that. So it has to be like an easy, smooth journey, right? And so one of the things I considered was developing good systems. In fact, I told myself if I could develop some good systems for a week where I got myself together and I was able to spend the week organized, systematic, doing all the things that I could, staying within budget, my time, my sleep. If I could do that for a week, I said I would get the computer that I needed to do the video editing on. I have experience with video editing with simple tools, but I wanted to get something a little more robust, and I wanted to try using Final Cut Pro and iMovie, and even working with the Adobe suite for video editing. And I wanted a new computer for that, and I said I also needed the time, like
me right now, having coffee.
the systems that I needed to do this would be my time and my routine. So what I actually thought I was about doing was to have like days set aside where like I could do like one day for video editing, and like I can do that on Mondays, and then I can do my social media on Tuesdays. On Wednesdays I could do the graphic design, which would really help me enhance all the others. And then on Thursdays I can just tie things up with the certifications that I have. Like some of them need hours and PDUs and all kinds of things just to stay on top of them. And I don't want to just forget about them, and then the next thing you know I have like a week to do like 60 hours or some random thing. So I really want to just make sure I get that together. I believe that I'm all set with most of my certifications. I think like I'm ahead. I actually think I renewed a lot of them. I can probably just looking at some LinkedIn learning courses just to stay on top of things and see if I can get any skills to be really sharp, like for, I don't know, like an interview or something. Like it's just like I just need to know what's out there, and some of the trainings are actually really really good, right? Some of them are pretty good, but I think they will only make sense if I listen to them every week. If I listen to it once, I won't hold it. Because if I listen to it more than once, it will be helpful. So I'm thinking I can probably do that another day, and then that leaves me with I think that's my 5 days for the week. So video editing, social media, graphic design, my certifications, just to keep tab of them, just to check in, do some learning, see what's out there in this space and so forth. And then I have to do another day for side hustles. So I have to think about these side hustles that I have, and they're just random different side hustles, but they need time, and I have to be consistent with them. So I have to work on getting these side hustles, and that could be my Friday. So that's like 5 days for the week where I can work mostly in the morning time. I think would be my better time to work. Or I could do like I can get a solid hour in the morning if I really if I really commit myself. I can get a solid hour in the morning, and I can probably get like 2 hours after work, because I go home and it's just like I waste 2 hours anyhow. I'm just scrolling YouTube. I'm not doing anything. There's nothing. I'm unwinding, but it's nothing substantial. And sometimes when I focus on like these projects, my mind feels so rich, so charged. It doesn't make me anxious. I sleep really well. It's actually sometimes very therapeutic to do these things. They don't burn me out because I feel a sense of accomplishment when I'm done, right? So that's kind of where I'm thinking with these goals and these side hustles. I need to have the system in place to make them. So none of them are intellectually challenging. Maybe they might be a little tedious, but they're not intellectually challenging. And I think the people who follow these side hustles and really work at goals and side hustles that they say make them six figures, they what they're not saying is how much time they put into it. They're also probably not saying how consistent they were and how easy things became once they stayed consistent with it. So they got that secret momentum from making small improvements every day. That's what they did. They made good choices regarding their business to learn and grow and try every day. And then we see them with making $20,000 a month, and we see them with 5,000 views, and then we think, oh, it was like so easy. But it was not. They really hustled for their hustle. So I am giving myself 1 week to get everything together, to get a system in place, and then I'm really going to launch out to get this computer, the MacBook Pro. It's such an investment that I am just like hesitant because the software requires so much memory space. I mean, I'm only going to use it for video editing, so it's not like I will have any files or pictures on it. But I do know that sometimes the when you edit the videos, there are render files, so it just downloads extra files in the computers and the space that you need. And I don't want to spend like an exorbitant amount of money on memory and it doesn't even work from the Apple Store. I don't want to do that. I want to get what's most efficient and effective, and then I'm kind of thinking if I should keep my computer and just use the Photoshop library, but I feel really confident. I wanted to do this video editing since last year, and I picked it up last year, but last year for some reason was a very, very hard year, and I tried it. It was overwhelming and I couldn't get it together. And I have a few videos of myself trying to do that. I couldn't get myself together. I didn't have my life wasn't chaotic, but I didn't have a system, everything in place regarding my personal life, regarding me, not what's outside and the job and all those things. I'm talking about me, myself, the things that concern me. That was just kind of like, it was not the best. And that's why I feel like I didn't get a grasp on that, and I couldn't grasp anything else. That's why this time around, it's almost a year later, almost, and I'm getting back into things, but I want to develop the system first. I want to get that routine in and really start. So when I get the new computer is part of my new system. And it's not just like a new computer that's just going to sit there, because I've done it before where I've gotten a new computer and I got it for one. I got it when I was doing project management for my PMP, and I ended up using the old one because the old one turned out to be just fine. I did all of my studying on the old computer. I did like one thing. I studied for one thing, I think the tools and techniques on the Surface Pro, but everything else was on the same old Chromebook. So having the new computer doesn't always like make you sometimes, because there was a system and I had a system in place where I was using the old computer and that system was fine. And the new computer didn't offer any additional advantage. But this time around, I'm using the new computer for Final Cut Pro for editing. I think what I could possibly do as well too is to try using some plain Windows program to edit for Windows, just to see the quality and how it looks and the effects and the words in the screen and so forth. And maybe I can see how that works first before I spend $2,500 on a computer, which is exorbitant. That's like somebody's rent. $2,500. That's so much money. And do I think it's worth it? I think yes. I think I think this is going to be part of my growth. And God knows I've thrown away much more money on nothing. I've spent a lot of money on a lot of other things, and I wish I didn't. So why not take the chance to invest in myself now? It's time for me. So I think I want to get it, but I want to get the systems in place first. So if the systems are in place, then I'm going to do it. And I have made up my mind to give like a year for this, kind of like 10 months, where I my plan is that by the end of um, okay, somebody's hair, my hair's a little dry on the first day here. Anyway, by the end of I would say July, which would be 11 months. I am thinking that by the end of July I should have spent the time needed to learn a monetizable skill, where I could say, okay, I can work in this field, and I can work here, and I can work there. I think by September, I'm not going to be doing this forever, right? Because if I can't do it and it doesn't make me any money, it's a hobby. And I don't want to have a hobby where I have to wake up early and then after work go and be learning something when I could be hanging out. It's warm outside. There's so many places I could be. This is not my plan for my life to be doing this. I am investing this time because I want to grow professionally, and I want to become something better for myself, and that's why I'm investing the time. So that's why I'm investing the time, for no other reason, but I expect that financially it will be rewarding for me, and I think that I just need to get the systems in place. And I think it's the morning and the evening and how I go to bed. I think if I could fix those, I feel I would be a lot more productive, a lot more than I am right now. So that's it. And I'm going to document. I am seeing in these videos a lot of progress, and I feel a lot more healthy and whole than I was in the videos last year. And I think I threw some of them out. My hair was a mess. It was just like the worst ever. It was just like hopeless and tired. And I couldn't get a grip on myself. And I'm in a much better place today. So that's why I am not going to be negative about my experience and well-being now, because what I have right now is good. In comparison to somebody else, it might not be, but I don't care. I'm not comparing myself to anybody. I know that where I am now is leaps and bounds from where where I was last year, and so I am going to focus on making progress, so that next year it's more progress, and hopefully next year, definitely next year, when I'm checking in, or when I'm just like looking back and so forth, I would have finished the goals that I have set, and one of them is to learn a monetizable skill, and to learn a monetizable skill. And how I'm going to do that is, one, by setting goals, but it's two, making small changes every day towards it, and three, having systems in place. That's the strength of the plan, my system. And I think my system will be, I want to see if I can give maybe like 3 hours a day on this, I think if I can do that, and again, it's just like for 8 months, I believe that with that, I should have something in place. It should be easy. I won't have to spend the time graphic designing, because I would have already done the graphic designing, and I would have learned it. So in 8 months, I would be like focusing on either getting a job doing it, like making this be an income source, like using this as income in a year. I definitely won't be learning anything, because I would have learned all I needed to learn in a year. graphic design. And I think video editing might definitely be something that's a monetizable skill as well too, because a lot of YouTubers have like shots and they don't want to edit. Like right now, this video can do with a lot of editing. There's a lot of them saying that would be awesome if I could be editing it, but I'm putting it on my phone and it's a good video. I can put it up as is, but if I were in a place where I can give someone $100 and be like, yo, just edit this for me, and put in some b-roll, put in some music, and really fix it for me, I would do that. It's such a hassle off of it, clipping, looking through to edit it. It could be tedious. So that's a good skill to have. So by next year, 2 of these things will be done. I would still be working on social media because that's not something I want to stop. So I will be doing social media still. I won't have to take a day to do certifications, and I'll just be working on my side hustle. So by next year, this time, I would only have to devote 2 days a week. I would have to give 1 day for my social media and 1 day for my side hustles. And that's it. Everything else would be, I've learned it. It's about getting income. And any other work I do, it's not like me working on I'm not learning anything. It would be, I'm doing it for someone else. So I should be getting paid by then. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed all the background, all the natural b-roll from Central Park, because that's what you get when you do a video in Central Park, and there's more b-roll coming. So this is my Central Park chatter natural b-roll that I'm using here, and I am so thankful to be able to document this blog again this time around, and I'm going to keep it, uploading it weekly, and I will get my systems in place, and hopefully my next video I should have the MacBook Pro, or I should have some kind of update as to whether I'm using the computer that I have, the Surface Pro. Once it doesn't crash when I download Adobe on it, I could be using the Surface Pro, or I can use the Surface Pro for graphic design, and I can use the MacBook for video editing or something like that, So we'll see next week when I document what's the progress with the plan. Anyway, until I can share with you again, if you want to see progress on where I'm at and what I'm doing and how I'm moving along with my entrepreneur journey, please subscribe to my channel and let me know. And also tell me about your journey and like the video as well. And also tell me about your journey. If you are interested in starting a side hustle, what systems are you putting in place to anchor your habits? How are you going to make simple steps every day? What kind of changes do you think you can make to help you make this money? Because if you don't want to make money, then you're missing out. Life can be really, really beautiful when you have a lot of money. When you don't, it sucks. It sucks, right? But when you have, it's just like so good. And that's why I want it, because I want to be on the side of enjoying my life and not like it being a pain in the ass. Anyway, until we chat again, work hard and stay smart.